We are coming up on 1 year since the Southwest meltdown of December 2022. How could we ever forget? The airline canceled thousands of flights and stranded more than 2 million passengers over the holidays.
It's like, gosh, you got the chills.
Can't relive that.
Oh, no, thank you. This week, the DOT announced Southwest Airlines will be paying $140 million for those major flight disruptions. To break that down, we've got our 9 News legal analyst, Whitney Trailer, with us. Okay, this is a huge settlement. It's bigger than what we've seen in the past. How did that happen? How were they able to hand that down?
Yeah, this is major. And the Department of Transportation, I think that's a good starting place. It's an administrative agency. So like all administrative agencies, it's designed to look at one particular industry. So here we're looking at the airline industry. And so the DOT is designed to really just oversee that, regulate it, things like that. So last year in about September, the DOT went to Southwest and said, hey, you're not essentially up to snuff. You need to get these certain things in place. Southwest agreed to do that. And so what they did was they agreed to certain computer upgrades and all these other things. But they knew that they knew they were going to be shorthanded. And so what happened was, certainly, as we know, a lot of people are still kind of having some PTSD from last year. But Southwest, they ended up having to cancel almost 17,000 flights. I didn't realize this. 2 million passengers were stranded. So that's why then the DOT came in to investigate, and they were going to levy these fines, but Southwest actually agreed to it and other terms. So this $140 million is a massive fine, the biggest that the DOT has done for consumer protection violations.
Yeah, they're really making an impact with that, right? And so a lot of this money is going to go toward paying future folks that fly on Southwest that are affected by these delays and cancellations. But we were just talking about people that are going to get back paid for what they dealt with last season. I want you to talk a little bit about that and what people need to do going forward to be compensated.
Right. So they're compensating folks. There's $600 million is going into refunds and reimbursements. So that's not even the civil penalty, right? A large part of that $140 million is actually going towards folks as well. So what they can do, Southwest set up on their website a way for you to go and file a claim. The Department of Transportation on their website also has some ways. So if folks still have dealt with Southwest or other airlines, there's a lot of information out there. And so I would go to both the airlines website and then the DOT as well.
And you're talking reimbursements for things like hotel stays and tickets and ticket prices. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, so there's a number of delays. So it's related, and some people are saying, well, what might I be entitled to if I had to wait? And so there's a variety of things. If you had to wait on the tarmac for a certain amount of time, it relates to luggage, it relates to overnight stays. So some people, there's some families that got thousands of dollars back, and there's some people who haven't gotten as much back. And it really depends on the circumstances. But for Southwest, it's both the reimbursement, but the penalty part of it is really significant. And this is literally 30 times larger than the DOT's biggest fine. So this is really, and I think they're, Pete Buttigieg, I think regardless of the political stance that people want to take, he's done a great job, I think, in the DOT in bringing these airlines, holding their feet to the fire.
What's the time frame like for some of these folks actually getting reimbursed for some of these, issues?
That's a great question. What they did actually, this settlement, so the DOT didn't even complete their investigation. Southwest actually agreed to it so that they could, and the DOT said, yes, let's come up with this agreement so we can get the money to the people as soon as possible. So some people have gotten reimbursement. I don't know what the time frame is, but the fact that they agreed to it now is a good sign. Like Southwest is not fighting it, so they're in compliance. And in total, it's costing Southwest about $750 million, which some people are frustrated because they're saying, well, the government has bailed them out in the past, and so it's like, why are we paying, what's happening here? And that's really an issue with the airline industry in a broader context, which is why some people are happy that the DOT is really kind of bringing the hammer down.
All right, well, thank you so much for breaking that down. I know lots of travelers are interested in how that's going to break down, so we really appreciate it.
Yes, everybody stay strong out there.
I know, good luck out there. Let's